That's it. We need more sad boys. Welcome to Tokyo Ghoul After Show.
Yeah!
I'm excited this week. I was way too excited.
Sorry.
But I'm pretty excited. I'm Zach.
I'm Daniel.
This is Daniel's son. Yeah, so this episode was batshit.
So much happened so fast at such high volumes.
Yeah.
I honestly feel a little bit attacked.
You were viciously attacked. But yeah, there's a tremendous amount to talk about. It was like we've said for weeks, it seems that the studio wanted to incorporate most of their money, their design, their animation, everything into these last few episodes. But anyway, so yeah, they definitely were holding back for these episodes, and I assume the next few will be the same because there was a hell of an ending that's about to get even wilder, and for the people that have read, you know exactly how wild it's going to get. But yeah, it was, I mean, in theory, it was a simple episode. It was just,
I mean, it was kind of a setup. I feel like it was exciting because they sprinkled a little bit of seasoning on top of this this dish that they are preparing to serve us, and like we haven't quite cut into it yet.
Hello.
I mean, we got some I don't know. I would say we had appetizers. We had appetizers.
we did.
We had some
But I
appetizers.
mean, it was still like, it was a full episode. This was just.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
No.
This I mean, the point of the episode though was just like the CCG's raid on the Tsukiyama like incorporation.
Yes.
Because they already took down the house, they got Tsukiyama Pops, and now they're taking down old Shu, the new Pops.
The new daddy.
And it was run by Yui and Hairu were the ones sort of running it in conjunction with Quinks God.
Rip.
Yeah.
Ripped the
Lots of people are dead.
Oh my.
Lots of people are dead.
Like, I would say this is, like, as far as, like, CCG raids go, they've had more casualties in probably the first couple of hours than any other raid they've ever had. At least of, like prominent investigators.
Potentially. This and the Antiku raid. But less important characters.
Yes, less important. Like, I mean, no, that's what I'm saying is, like, I mean, if you, it's not spoilers, but Hairu, Kojima, that was like, I'm not sure if he's dead, but the dude with the ribs that's part of like working with the Quake Squad and stuff like that.
And the first three, like not Shigaraki, that's not.
Oh, those three, the guy and the two girls. Yeah.
That Super Kane Super Saiyan 3 just stressed out and murdered.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, there's
the worst. You pick the worst version of Super Saiyan.
No, because it doesn't last long. It's very strong, but a little bit uncontrollable.
But it looks really stupid because he has no eyebrows and really long hair.
Fuck off, man. Super Saiyan 3 is the best. I bet you're a Rage Trunks guy, aren't you?
Dude, I love
Rage Trunks when his eyes are all white. Meh. Anywho. Also shout out to the best death of the entire anime series. The best murder of anyone. Dude, the gnarliest fucking murder.
I wouldn't even say it was a murder. It was almost like karma coming full circle. I feel like more like anything. Like, it was like he got his just dessert.
Yeah. We'll talk about it all in a second. So that's the general idea. It's just nothing but a raid on Tsukiyama Incorporated.
Yeah.
Now
Tsukiyama Inc. Tsukiyama and Co.
But yeah, we'll basically do this by sections because there was about 5 major moments that happened that took up the entire episode. Before we get into that, just basics on the art direction. It started slow and then just got better and better as the episode went on.
Yeah, I'm still like, I'm a little unhappy with it still because like I've been watching a lot more. Like I've been catching up on a bunch of stuff this week.
Yeah.
Like I finished Darling in the Franxx, Shokugeki no Soma. I'm up with that. Like My Hero Academia. And even when I think back to the very first iterations of like Naruto Shippuden, granted I'm sure their budget for Shippuden at the beginning after Naruto was huge. But like they still like in Naruto they still do this thing where it's like they dumb down the details of the animation and just like of the actual images, but
and they make it more fluid.
Yeah, and everything, and it looks sick.
Because you saw it a lot. Like so when
everything's still very shiny.
It is, and it's like flashy. Like this, I've brought this up several times. The worst of it was when Matsume's fighting Hairu before she gets the upper hand.
Yeah.
And it was just they'd run at each other, and they'd be like slash, but you wouldn't see the slashes. You just saw bright lights.
They did that with
a cheap style of
with
animation.
Matsume and Kojima today.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just.
Well, no, I mean that's it was this fight. Like in this one, they brought it in a lot.
Okay.
But besides that, like it got more exciting, it got more fun. The Heisei stuff was much better.
Dude,
it got. We'll get there. But yeah, it was wild. But yeah, there's so much character and so much things to do.
Yes.
So
to prevent us from having another 38-minute show, let's jump into it.
So firstly, we're gonna start with the Queen Squad that runs up against Noro.
Yes.
Which got, first of all, introduced, showed true Noro, like Kakaja Noro.
Like, they should. Yeah. At least in my, we've only seen him. We haven't seen him fight. We knew nothing about it. All we know is that he is higher up, Aogiri, and
we've seen him fight a couple. We haven't seen him fight. We've seen him just murder people.
Yeah.
Not a lot of fighting. We've just pretty much seen him show up when Eto needs him. He'll crush somebody, kill somebody, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like he's got into it with a few people throughout the course of like I think the Coachella raid. Coachella 2018. Beyonce was there. It was great.
And Beyonce died.
Beyonce got killed by Nora. But yeah, we haven't seen a lot of it. But he went ham this time. So point being, the Queen Squad shows up, does a little work on people, nothing crazy, and then suddenly in walks creepy ass No Eyes Noro, who we don't even really know if he's a real creature. We don't even know what he
sounds like.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a voice.
Like the only thing we know about him, the only thing anime-only people know about him is that he follows Eto to no matter what.
And Tatara.
And Tatara, yes. But he always seems more protective of Eto. Like Tatara is like always there as the boss, but he's by Eto's side.
Yeah, I feel like they work. I feel like this is totally different. Actually, I'm not even going to talk about this because we need to get through shit.
Yeah. So Nora shows up and just immediately starts wrecking people. And it seems like it's a pretty like simple fight. Somebody like slices him in half and they think the day is won. And then Noro like does a styled regeneration that is just unseen in the show. Like people grow things back and people heal quickly.
But a blade through the face.
Well, no, this is before when he just gets chopped in half.
Yeah, chopped in half.
And they just comes back together.
Like,
and which that's huge because like we've seen people come back from ridiculous things like Heisei's getting stabbed through the brain, like people have been like we've seen beforehand people get kicked, like their bodies destroyed, kicked through the chest, like we've seen horrible things, but it takes time to heal. Noro just
his RC cells must be real good.
Exactly, like he is just the regenerative monster, and to people that readers and have read ahead, like there's kind of a bit to that. But he is like it's unfathomable, and then he gets super fucked. And when you think all is lost,
throwing out the props to Shirazu for finally using that, and that thing's OP, man.
It is.
It's a little OP. I mean, it's
It's a double S Chimera weapon. Like you don't really see a lot of double S Quincase.
This is true.
Like you've never seen a triple S. And you will.
We will. You always.
One day.
It always gets worse.
But yeah, it was a powerful Quinquet, and it was really cool. Like there wasn't actually a lot of development. This was just a simple fight. Like there's a lot of development in the other ones. This one was just a badass fight. You got to see Psycho for the first time go nuts. She got to use her.
But she
on screen.
It was like one shot. She got real tired after using it the one time.
But you can see she seems like, and they've brought her several times. Like she is known to have a super high RC count out of all the rest of them. But she's a little psycho.
A potato.
Yeah, she's a little Yombiashi. She's like, I like anime and potatoes and ham. That's it. Just want ham. It's crispy and delicious. But yeah, so she got to see that. So they're finally like the show itself is laying down its cards finally. It's opening up the door to like we don't have to hide things anymore. They're just allowing people to be who they're supposed to be. Interestingly enough, Udare was like the bitch of this episode, when normally he's like the one that saves the day for everything. Yeah. This time, like, it was Kiroyuwa that saved Psycho. Psycho busts out that crazy, Kagane. And then, Shirazu
with his new Queen Q
bossed up and brought out that amazing the Nutcracker.
Yeah, and even the dude, I don't know who did it, but whoever stabbed
there's just one of the other
face. Yeah, just some other guy. I mean, he did more than Urie did.
Yeah, everyone did. Like,
Urie, he was walking on walls, though.
No, it's Matsume. Or not Matsume, that's Mutsure. Or Mutsuki.
Oh, Toru, yeah. Yeah, and Toru pinned down, that's right.
Casually, by the way, I don't know if this is something that anyone cares about, but for some reason it bugs me that, like, when she's not. I don't like when people aren't full Ghoul and they just like casually Spider-Man across walls.
Yeah.
And because it doesn't happen all the time, but every once in a while they're like, doesn't matter. Fuck gravity. Just across the wall.
If you
Mutsuki did that today.
if you don't acknowledge it, is it even there?
If you don't, it doesn't exist.
Don't take that. Don't take that and run with it, please.
But no, so the shout out of this episode, the big thing that you see, and like the big thing that's actually the only kind of crazy reveal, was Noro's Kakuja.
Yeah. It's like a full body. It's like inside of him. It's like his whole being is Kakuja almost.
And that's interesting because like Noro's such a confusing character, and he is someone that is tricky to understand because like most people when they do a Kakuja or half, they kind of have like it seems like a shell or they could become some kind of like monster,
it's an extension of their body.
Yeah, or even if they become a monster that like represents them. Noro just becomes a ball of mouth tentacles. Like he just was.
It's very reminiscent of like Full Metal Alchemist, like Gluttony a little bit.
Absolutely,
kind of,
like that mixed with a Beholder, a Dungeons and Dragons monster. Like it was just this weird beast, and he, I assume, in the next episode is about to just wreak havoc.
Oh yeah.
Because that's like what do you do? Like they literally cut him in half, kicked, like blew him up. Like Shirazu literally blew him up and sliced his head into pieces. And now he turned into this evil mouth monster, which is terrifying to talk about. Never call anyone an evil mouth monster. But that was nuts. But that was a simple one.
That was okay, and like just we could go into more about it, but let's move to the next thing.
All right. So Hairu and her crew.
V Matsume, badass. Matsume, badass.
So this was one that had a little bit more development. It was beautiful. Like yeah, exactly. You've read up to. I know you've read up to like where we are now. You know, Noro's. He's nuts, and he only gets more nuts. But anyway, so this is Hairu's like the main squad goes up and. When Hyzes takes the roof, and Hairu knew that she, like her and her little crew had to take on like the blunt of this. The blunt of it, the big badass has been
because they knew that CCG was going to send in their big guns to cut the head off the dragon essentially. And
it was really this wonderful thing. Like there was that beautiful moment with Matsume and Tsukiyama where she accepted that she was probably going to die.
Yeah.
And it was a really powerful moment because in the fight, the anime did a really good job of like they kept going back and forth. Like you felt like she was gonna win.
Yeah,
she was so close.
So, I mean, she took out Hairu, who I would argue is more tough than Kojima.
100%. And I am a little
peg leg. Like, come on, he's not that mobile.
A peg leg and a basketball head. It's very annoying.
Like, but not like a basketball head. Like you had two broken basketballs and put them together.
Yeah. But it was a really powerful like moment. Like this fight, while the fighting was actually a little bit less than some of the other ones in the episode, the importance of this was really a lot because Matsume means something to Tsukiyama. Like she's the last of like the butlers, like her and whatever the long-haired dude was. I can't remember what his name was. But they're the last real protectors, and they had promised that they were going to try to get back. And you have this like really epic fight. I don't like how Hairu first got hit. She slipped on the blood. Like, don't make the girl who's a badass like slip and do the damsel fall.
But they did set it up very well because at the beginning of the episode they did say Kojima did say himself, it was like, be careful not to slip on the blood on the floor.
Yeah,
he said it, and so while that's like it's kind of corny, I'll allow it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll allow it.
But then her actual death was gnarly. The other butler jumps into the air.
Dude, she gets that weird like what's the move that Piccolo does?
Oh, the special beam cannon?
Special beam cannon, yeah. Like she gets the special beam cannon out and
which blows her in half, or blows the guy, or Matsume protects herself.
Yeah, with that
blows
badass
the other
shield,
guy in half.
What? Like, does she have the thorns? Is the shield? Is the sword? I don't know what her...
Well, I think she might be a chimera, because she seems to have a detachable, sort of like, forest-like thing. Okay. And then she has, like, the... That's not a...
The shield
and Baikaku? If she has, like, the... Because I guess it would be, like, the arm.
I don't... Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I guess? I don't really know. It's confusing, because she has two, like, sort of weapons. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when Arima uses his shield and the gun, which is gnarly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and so she protects it, but then Hairu gets chopped in half by a half-chopped man.
Yeah, but it was
Which
sick.
was cool.
It was sick because like he comes jumping over the top, cuts him in half. He's like you underestimate me, shink.
Yeah.
Sick. And then he also pins down Kojima for Matsume to finish off as well.
Yeah, there was just so much. And I guess the key point of this, like, the fight was cool, but the most important part of this is you finally, like, people have been sleeping on Furta because no one knows, unless you read, who Furta is.
Dude, that dude is
But you
whack.
don't sleep on this kid.
That dude is whack, man. Like, I would argue to say that he is, from what I've seen, this is an opinion, obviously, but he's the most detached from...
You have no fucking idea.
So, okay. Thanks for confirming what I think. No, but it's just like he's just like I mean, he literally grabbed this dude, used him as a shield, and then tries to like pin it on Matsume, just like, oh well, you killed him. And it's like,
yeah.
No, this isn't like elementary playground shit. It's like
absolutely. But no, it's it's so hard to talk. There's so many things happening. Mm-hmm. So before the Furta bit, so first of all, this is the shot we're talking about. Best kill I think I've ever seen in the Tokyo Ghoul anime. Mm-hmm. Kojima gets wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. Just gets lit up by Matsume. She knocks his chainsaw Quinke into the ceiling, and while he's getting just torn apart, looks up, his own chainsaw falls and rips his brain apart and makes him start talking about cheese because he's losing his mind.
Dude! I want cheese, I want cheese, I want cheese. And I'm just like, I was sitting there, my mouth was open. I was sitting there going...
It was crazy.
It was gnarly. And like, I can only imagine like, if they actually showed everything, because they just showed like an outline. And
that
like,
would be... but so that death is nuts. And then just casually... Like, Furta kills a CCG member, like pulls
as
someone
a human
in front
shield,
of him.
just pulls him in
And then
front,
the best part, I don't even care about that. He just like hands away a Kagane coming at him. Just dink, don't worry about that. And Matsume's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, I don't know, what are you talking about? Boop! And just wrecks her. Like, this dude is casually killing someone who has turned into one of our like most powerful ghouls at this point in the show, and he casually fucks her up, and then just kind of laughs about it and was like, well, sorry, this kind of sucks for you, and just murders her. And so you're finally going to see, like, the anime only people are seeing some shit that it's about, like, this is obviously the blossoming of some of these shows, like, revealed to us, and which is gonna turn into something huge, because he's so crazy. That was the coolest thing. That's my favorite part of the whole episode, I think, was dink. Just it was sick.
Mind-boggling. I'm baffled because like if he's that powerful and then Arima's apparently the top, we're like I don't know where that goes, but
yeah, but it's gonna shake things up. So that was a huge shake-up. We don't really know what's going on. Again, not a lot of like emotional, crazy things. Just like, well, besides the fact that Matsume died and she promised soup, you know,
that she may or may not come back. But that was like another. But like on just to touch on Matsume just before the next thing, Matsume, the fact that like I felt like the last two episodes have put such a level of importance upon Shu's shoulders of what he needs to do, his responsibilities, what he needs to take. We don't know what they are, but they have been imposed upon him via these small actions like the take me back in the car, the last thing. And then this time he was like, promise me you'll come back. And she's like, no, I have to do whatever I need to do to make sure that you can still do what you need to do.
I mean, she went Black Butler on him. Like, she just, like, that's the best thing. Like, I love the dude was when the guy that killed Hyrule was on the ground, and he's just like, never underestimate a butler. Which is, I mean, them, Alfred and Black Butler, like, they're just, you don't fuck with them.
Yeah. Don't fuck with Alfred.
And it was a crazy thing. Like, but that fight, once again, like, importance to the show, most important thing, Kojima just got wrecked, and suddenly there's a new player.
Yeah.
And who is this new player? What is he about? How can he casual dink? Kazidink? Kazadinka?
Kazidink?
Kazadinka.
Kazidinka.
But casually dink away a really, really powerful
I'm just gonna start using dink to describe things. Like, I'm dinking that. Dink that out of my life.
That's fair. I like it. But huge thing. But talking about Shu. Next thing, now we're getting into some emotional stuff. We have this beautiful moment of Heisei versus Tsukiyama. Finally, that we didn't like. I don't think a lot of people saw it coming. I really don't.
No. Because I mean, I saw it coming, but I was just.
I thought you were gonna have a panic attack right there.
I was gonna have a panic attack on the couch because I was sitting there like, no, they can't do this. But like dude, Heisei is riding a fine line right now.
He's barely an investigator.
He's on the roof. They're like, what's at the top? Shu is standing right in front of him. Someone who he's already suspects as a ghoul is now confirmed a ghoul and is now confirmed high up in Rose.
And his boss asked him.
Yeah, and his boss is like, you see anything? And he goes, there's nothing up here.
Yeah.
And he tries to barter again. And so Heisei is finding these people that he's had past connections with, and he's trying to ride this line. And I'm not sure if it's like if it's his feelings of just like that are like residual, or if it's like him wanting to hold on to them for information about himself. But it's just like either way, he is basically going against code for his own.
Yeah, 100% going against code.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good question. Is like, especially like leaving everything from the written version out, like just watching the anime, like it's really hard to tell if he's being selfish or selfless, if he is somehow like protecting someone that he thinks he could love, or if he's just desperate to find out who he is.
Yeah.
And which is it's very interesting to kind of find out his motivations, because he's always been this like beautiful altruist. But yeah, and that's an interesting thing, like finding someone who is this altruistic soul. Like, but now he's kind of shitting on the people he's involved with now, shitting on the CCG,
and he's also kind of pulling in people in the CCG into his own thing. He's pulling the Qs, like masks, undercover, blah 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 blah, and that's a dangerous situation because they are, I would say, 1/3 ghoul.
Yeah,
they're not half ghouls. Like
he's definitely putting him in danger for sure.
Yeah, no,
and like more so than one would need.
Because the thing is that if he's following the slippery slope and he falls off the wagon, what's going to happen to the rest of the Qs? This experimental squad is are they going to get thrown like into the fire as well?
Absolutely, because especially once you get like
out of the frying pan into the fire,
assholes like you, he doesn't even like them anyway, and doesn't like the Queen's program. He's kind of their boss right now, and then later you're gonna have the like Washu 2 up there, who is an asshole in his own right. Like if Heisei fucks it up that bad, are they gonna be like, well, these guys are obviously in it with him?
Yeah.
So that is a very, very dangerous game to play. So like Heisei's altruism is really getting tested, and then it begs the question like. Ken was always thought to be the bad guy. Like Kaneki in his head, he's like, oh, he's the one-eyed ghoul. He's the bad one. But Heisei's doing way more like salacious things.
Like and not as I wouldn't like not like I don't think it's not malicious and it's not intentional. But the difference between them is that Heisei is being selfish. He's being more selfish. Where Kaneki did everything he could to protect the people that he cared about, and so it's a very interesting situation because I mean I think anybody in the same situation would do the same thing, wanting to find out more about themselves.
Of course. But one thing that's kind of sad, so this is a little fucked up, but I think this is another life reflecting art, and I am a bit of a nihilist, sorry world. But like what's interesting is like you have this character who just wants to be happy. And innately in that is a selfishness, no matter what. And so him trying to do this, and now it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad selfishness, but the nature of like I want happiness for me is a selfish thought, like just by definition. And he ends up in doing this like when his motivation is himself, like in any way, like, and he might be happier because of it. Like the world is worse.
Yeah.
Now, Ken Kaneki, who did some shitty things, but like every bit of it, like he accepted that his life was garbage. He accepted tragedy. He accepted that he was probably going to die. He was good. Like he was just good. Like the world was better because
he was
of him.
Batman.
Like when 100%, when you accept that the world is so broken and it's not going to get better, and you just have to do what you
have to do whatever you can to make things as good as they can be.
And sometimes like you have to know that you're going to lose. So Ken Kaneki's Batman and Heisei's Superman, and Superman's a punk. And that's period.
Superman's going around causing problems.
Happy people fuck up the world. We need more sad people. That's it. We need more sad boys. He's not fucking okay, guys. I'm not okay.
That's me.
Yeah, I get it. He just wants to be in the Black Parade.
That's gonna be the intro for the video.
Yeah. I'm not okay. God, I bet King Kaneki listens to so much My Chemical Romance.
Okay, so
but I do mean that though. Like, and I think it's very important in the Heisei Kaneki flip there. Is like...
Yeah. It's very important. I mean, for the sake of moving on, is there anything else we need to touch on between Heisei and Shu? We hit the main point of, like, that him not wanting to call off, and then Shu stepping... Well, we didn't mention it. Shu steps up to the plate. Is like, no, he's like, all these people are trying the hardest so I can get away to do my thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you will not stop me. I will not surrender and I will not settle.
And I think that was actually... I like that a lot. Like, Tsukiyama, it sucks he's trying to fight Heisei. One, that's not getting well for you. Yeah. And two,
one thing real quick.
We can love their characters.
Keep going.
But when you have that, like Tsukiyama, just like we talked about last episode, he grew up a lot. And so now you have a character who he's not fighting because he hates Heisei. He's fighting because he wants to protect people. Like, Tsukiyama has stepped into the Kaneki role where he's like, I gotta do this fight because you're trying to hurt the people I love and I just want to protect them. And I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah.
And then he got his shit kicked.
Yeah, because... and one of the interesting things is that they were fighting, and both of them had acknowledged that, like, Heisei was just like, oh, I know the moves, but, like, he's like, I figure out the moves, and Tsukiyama was doing the same. He's like, oh, this is familiar fighting style, because...
Did you turn on the air?
I did.
Oh, yeah, I'm sweating like a whore in church.
But they did train together. It wasn't in season 2, but it was very much in the manga, where, like, Kaneki learned how to fight by training with Shu, essentially.
Back in the day.
And then eventually got to a point where Shu couldn't keep up with him anymore. Mm-hmm. Which is why he can't keep up with him now.
Yeah. I do love, there was a point where he lets Shu hit him, and he's like, well, now I've got him. Because, he just had his cognate, like, inside his shoulder, and he's like, well, now you're in. I got you.
Yeah.
And then he just tears up Shu. But either way, so then Shu goes down. They're sitting there, and Heisei's having this moment of internal peril where he's like, do I try to kill my old friend, or do I not? And then, bam, loses an arm.
Dude.
Who did that? Who did that?
Dude, just like...
You know who did that?
Arms.
Super Saiyan 3 did that.
Super Saiyan...
It's so fast! Actually, Super Saiyan 2 is faster than 3, but 3's real strong, you know that.
3's real strong, but
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 2 has way cooler hair.
That's fair. Only Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Kid Gohan, Cell Gohan.
Dude, but
best
even
design
Super
in
Saiyan
the
2 Vegeta is badass,
That's
too.
fair. But either way, so
Majin
here comes
Vegeta.
Kane.
Yo, he's Majin Vegeta!
That's exactly who he is. He is Super Saiyan Majin Vegeta. That's perfect.
That's it.
So Majin Vegeta shows up, who is Kane. And Kane has been broken. And we can go ahead and sort of move to we can talk about that last little bit where you learn, like, what happened to Kane. Kane has been, we talked about this last week, in, like, psychologically broken by Eto. Eto has, like, absolutely owned him. In a very weird ways. Like,
in a very
first
short
it was
amount
torture,
of time.
and then it was not torture. Because there was a really weird scene, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this is in the manga.
I don't know, maybe it might have been
Did
torture.
Eto bang Kane in the manga? I don't think so.
Did they do the dirty?
I don't think. I did not. I don't remember
Did
reading
they
that.
tango?
They maybe. Did they tangle? And at the same time, they're potentially having sex. It was a very strange...
A very
thing.
effective way of brainwashing.
But you can see why Kane's crazy now.
Yeah.
Like, if he spent like a good amount of time in this torture/sex chamber with the most probably intelligent
Torture
ghoul
chamber.
in there.
All I'm thinking about right now is Hocus Pocus in the kitchen.
Yeah.
A torture chamber.
But yeah, and so point being, Eto, which is kind of like Janemba now. We're going to Majin, Janemba.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to connect all of things.
Okay.
Anyway, so we have Kane, who's turned into a monster. And he shows up, and he is way stronger. Like, doesn't give a shit. He knocks off Heisei's arm and is about to murder him. And then, like, he just Neymars him. That was the coolest thing. And Kaneki kicks his head completely off, and which anyone that's read the manga, like, it was, like, shot for shot, almost perfect. Like, exactly how they did it. It was
Like,
awesome.
it was like shadowed, the head went up.
Yeah.
And then
like, it was
came down.
even in white and black. Like, it was great.
It was just...
But once again, it shows how powerful he is, because he Noro'd it to where his like head just immediately reconnected, and all that happened is he's like, oh, I blacked out. What happened? You want to go? Your head got kicked off, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that hurts. You're dead.
That hurt.
That would hurt a lot.
Don't try that at home.
But interestingly enough, one thing that maybe this is a connection is Eto, who is super close to Noro, and Eto, who's super close to Kane now, both of them have this miraculous ability to heal now.
Regenerate their body parts.
What
back
kind of power
together.
does Eto have? Question mark. Boop. Dink.
Dink.
But yeah, and so that was nuts. But that just kind of like it faded out pretty quickly. They actually cut, I think, a lot of that fight because I'm sure they didn't have time. They shoved so much in this episode. But because Kane in the manga, if I remember correctly, like wrecks him.
I didn't get there.
He hasn't read there yet, but anyone that has
and the thing is like kind of like in the manga or even the show, Kane Heisei needs to get wrecked because it's the only time, because something's going to have to happen where he has little Kenkaneki in the back of his head talking about stuff. We got a little bit of that this episode, but he's there's no way that he can take on. I don't think Heisei can take on Kane and Shu at the same time.
No. I mean, it kind of showed that he did though. Like that was well, again, kind of frustrating. Is the show kind of like they just fast forwarded through a little bit because they're trying to get to the next point, which the next thing is the amazing moment that's about to happen next time. Which I mean, if you saw the episode, the one-eyed owl is finally coming back, and not
Yoshimura one-eyed owl. I'm talking about the crazy
OG one-eyed owl.
Well, technically Yoshimura would be the OG one-eyed owl.
No, not at all. The one, because Yoshimura became a one-eyed owl to protect his daughter, who was out wrecking havoc. So like Yoshimura, when he found out that there was this giant ghoul out wrecking everyone, he realized it was his daughter, and so he started posing as the owl, and he was the non-killer owl.
But at one point he would have had to eat a shit ton of ghouls, and so I don't think he.
He was that way from before. Like he was super powerful from the beginning.
Yeah, and
if you remember,
that's
even
I'm saying,
V was afraid of him in a little.
And what I'm saying is that he was a one-eyed owl before he had the child, because it's when he met the girl. He
had a Kakaja before that, but he changed his Kakaja to the owl once because he had already become good.
He was, but I was saying is before he met his wife, he was eating a bunch of.
Oh yeah, no, he was nuts back in the day for sure. Like he was a murderer. Like, he was an assassin for V, and then eventually he broke off, and all that shit happened when he found out his wife was a spy for V and all that shit.
Yeah. Anyways, this has nothing to do with this episode.
No. But yeah, so OG One-Eyed Owl's coming back, and you see a couple things in the preview. Of course, like, you see the fight starting, you see the One-Eyed Owl's about to bust through, and that's about to turn into a crazy fight. But more importantly than that, you see a flash of full black-haired, one-eyed Kaneki. I think, like,
that's very.
The style was different, but I think they're just trying to give him a look.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to stylize him. But yeah, they're insinuating that he's coming back.
He's coming back.
Which will probably happen, what I can assume, because since we haven't seen it in a very long time, I assume the owl is going to fuck him up, and he's going to go half Kakaja again.
I think he's going.
But he's going to
that'd
accept it this time. Not fight it.
I don't think he's going to go full Kenkaneki. I think he's going to fall. Like, he's been kind of like dancing around this rabbit hole of his, and I feel like next episode we're going to see him falling in the rabbit hole.
There's 2 more episodes, right?
Oh,
for the 2 more,
because this was 11.
Yeah, I think it's 13.
13. So then we have.
So we have 2 more this season, and the rest is in the fall. But yeah, so I think you're right. I think the very end of this next one, all of a sudden there's going to be one of these like rise up moments, and his hair is going to be totally black,
and he's going to turn into the centipede.
I think he'll go centipede because he doesn't go full Kakaja like ever.
No.
Even where I'm at in the story, like, it's taken a long time for him to go full Kakaja. So
thanks for spoiling that for everyone.
It's not a spoiler. It's just it's a thing. Like, I want things, or I could be wrong. Who knows? Sometimes I read mangas drunk and I forget. But yeah. So I think he's gonna do that, and at the very end, it's gonna all of a sudden you'll have this moment where he like comes to. His like RC just like totally revitalizes him, and he comes back, grows an arm back, and is like, oh shit, here he is.
But do you think he'll be able to grow?
Heisei.
Do you think he'll be able to grow an arm back after not eating humans for a while? Like, do you think he has enough sustenance, or do you think he might eat a ghoul? Yeah, you're right.
Like he might eat like Kane or something. Like he could, or like take a chunk out of. What if he takes a chunk out of the owl, which would superpower him? Like, he could do that.
That would be, or do you know what? I would not put it past Eto to just let him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just let him.
Eto's just been toying with him forever. Eto wants him.
Yeah.
Wants him back. Wants Ken back.
She wants him like for more than just like reason. Like they have a.
Oh, maybe she wants to torture bang him. Maybe. I don't know.
She seems to get torture banged. He can get tortured again.
He might have got torture banged by Jason. It's always been up in the air. You don't know.
You don't like this.
Just torture bangs. Yes. Well, her kakaja.
Yeah.
If he ate her cock, because that's how.
That's how Ken connected. He didn't actually eat ghouls. He ate their kagune and.
Like even when he got attacked by the Arta armor guys.
Yeah,
like,
he just ate the armor. He wasn't eating them.
And that's what he does. Like he'll eat all your kakajas and eat your kakaho.
RC cells and stuff like that.
That's why he ends up having he has like 8 kakahos in him. Like it's confusing.
He's a centipede.
And the centipede came because he ate Jason's kakaja.
Yeah.
Because Jason had a kakaja, which was weird. I forgot that way back in the beginning.
So, but
remember how cool Jason was? That was cool.
Dude, Jason was fucking active. Okay, so.
But yeah, so those are the main things.
Yeah, those are the main things. There's one thing I want to touch on and this was something that I said during the episode at the very beginning, where you have one of Shu's, like, I guess not servants, but someone in his community.
Yeah.
Facing off against Kojima. And he runs and he jumps and does a prayer thing or something like that.
It was a little weird.
But
it looked like he was gonna do a TN.
One of the things that I just wanted to point out that I said is it's really weird. Like the show it's
intentional.
It has to be. No, it's intentional. But it's strange when the ghouls look more human than the humans do. Even with Hayuru and with Furuta, Kojima, and it's like when they look more like a person and are kind of doing more people thing. Like it's like they're
protecting their people.
They're protecting their people, and so the CCG is currently looking like oppressors right now.
Absolutely, and I think that is I'm so glad you said in the beginning, because it's like this show is really big on using visual cues to show its thematic cues. Mm-hmm. And that is a really powerful thing that the show seems to be doing, is they're making a very strong shift to where all of their ghoul characters are looking and acting and feeling more human. Mm-hmm. And they haven't really in the last few episodes shown a ghoul be terrible, mm-hmm. but they have shown people be horrible. And they look crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that is that was a fabulous point, because I didn't recognize that visually it really is every ghoul you've seen lately has looked pretty normal.
Yeah.
And
Natsume, the butlers, Shu,
yeah. Even the Queen Squad and the rest of Aogori and Aogiri.
Yeah, Ayato, Hinami.
Yeah. I love that. Even Ayato, they've turned his character into someone the last time you saw him was him screaming to save Hinami.
Yeah.
And he's just desperate to save mm-hmm. the people he loves, and he was ready to go back into the prison to get her.
Yeah.
And then you have all these psychopaths torturing and murdering and looking crazy
and using each other's human shields and
just killing each other
and saying it's all you do is get in my way and sacrificing themselves to.
Well, I think he was doing that intention to save the kids.
I mean, yeah, but it's still a thing where it's just you have people sacrifice, you have these humans sacrificing themselves to these.
To make their
higher ups that they idolize and stuff, and so it's just kind of strange.
It is, but it's awesome, and I think that's the transition the show wants to make. Mm-hmm. The show is, like we've talked about before, the previous seasons of Tokyo Ghoul were about.
They did a very good job of making ghouls look like monsters, and then towards the end of the season, mm-hmm. you have this. It starts to shift the view. It's just mm-hmm. Via, I would say, through the eyes of Kaneki and Yoshimura, where it's we are beings trying to get through, and just like all other aspects of the world, there's the good and the bad, and it's just right now we're seeing a lot of bad from the human side.
Absolutely. And man, I think though, and it's the point of the show that we've touched on many times. The beginning, the first 2 seasons were a horror about one kid learning about this crazy world. Mm-hmm. And he did, and he thought they were all monsters, mm-hmm. and then as you get through, he realizes, you're just another species and you just want to live. And so then you get to this new show, which is about the world. The mm-hmm. Tokyo Ghoul Re is not about Ken Kaneki, Heisei Sasuke. It's not about any particular character.
Listen to him say this.
Yeah.
This has been my thing for weeks now.
Yeah, because the show's not about that. It hasn't been since the very beginning. Heisei's really a kind of a sub-character. It is about the nature of the world of ghouls and how they are oppressed and how they are being victimized, and how like a victimized group of people will fight back. Like, it is a caged fox, like you or cornered fox. Like, they can be docile and just live their fucking lives, but if you corner them, like, they will attack, and that's what's happening. And so the show is much more of a sociological thing now than it was before. It was very personal in the beginning, and now it's about the world.
Well, and and you could argue, I could argue that it's always been about the world. It's just that you're instead of seeing it through one character's eyes or two characters' eyes, or like like the small community which was Anteku, we're seeing it through the multiple people who work in the CCG, and then the Quink Squad, and then all the characters that were introduced the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
it's like there are multiple viewpoints. So it's like, instead of looking at about the show being about Kenkaneke, there's a world, and we're looking at it through different lenses.
Exactly. And this episode was obviously very action heavy, like you saw that. Like, you noticed it spot on. Like, the first thing you said was about that. And it's and I love that. I really like it. A lot of people, I think, have a problem with Tokyo Ghoul Re because it's not about Kaneki anymore. It's not about one character. It is much more of a political look.
And I would agree that he is still our main character.
Absolutely. But it's not about him.
It's not about him. It's like, I want to just like draw a parallel to, like, this is like kind of totally off of the episode, but it's a parallel to like something like Game of Thrones. You know, it's like where you have like your main or your main characters, or actually, you know what's even better? Lord of the Rings. Frodo or Sam, depending on how you want to argue it, are the main character. But the thing is that there's so many other working viewpoints and stories running along with the one main character,
and you're seeing like a whole world around it rather than focusing on one thing.
And honestly,
I love it.
He's just your main character because they know that you'll think he's cute and will do anything for him, and that's why.
Little Frodo. Frodo.
No, I was talking about Kaneki.
Whatever. Same thing.
All right. But I'm good. Are you good?
Yeah. I guess the only thing like the only things I didn't like, I feel like they there's so much in it that I feel like they weren't able to really focus it and show certain things, but I still I don't mind because it's fucking awesome. And yeah, like that's pretty much my only criticism of it.
We're just the main character now. So the show has no emotion, no reason, and and no morals. Got it.
Perfect. Exactly. Is there anything you didn't like besides the some art issues?
Honestly, just like obviously the art issues is I'm not even going to talk about it. When it changes, we'll address it. But I feel like I had the problem you had with the last episode. I didn't get enough of the moments that I wanted. Like, the things that happened, I didn't get long enough or detail enough about them where I really felt it. Like, I felt like the Shu Heisei thing could have been longer.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have been a little bit more of a main focus, because this I would say the whole thing that's currently happening in this world revolves around Shu, Kane, and Heisei. Because
But yeah, I think the focus, like, if you could narrow it down, like, the main focus of the episode, it was that Furta reveal. I think that was the main thing of this episode, was definitely the Furta reveal, which I agree, like, I kind of wish it would have been more of the Heisei struggling with Tsukiyama about it.
Yeah.
That would have been a more, like, emotional for us thing.
Yeah, and it would have been more, I feel like, and it would have been a stronger pillar for the episode. But, see, and the Fruta thing,
that's about progressing.
It just skipped over it. It had no impact for me, because it was just like, wacky guy.
It was because he just opened the door. There's a whole new world in front
Pandora's
of you.
box.
You just stepped into the cabinet and you're walking into Narnia fuckland, and
I don't want to go there.
That's where Takazuki lives. Anyway, but yeah, so I would give. I guess if I was rating this, I'd give it like a 9.5. I loved it. I thought it was fun. I loved the reveals. I loved the big things, like, and it got me excited again. Like, I came into this episode sweating. I was excited. I haven't been this excited about an episode in a long time. The only reason I wouldn't give it a 10 is because I'm along with you. I feel like there were really powerful moments they could have really honed in on, but they unfortunately weren't able to.
Yes.
But it was awesome. It was awesome.
I would give I give it an 8.5. I just wanted more of a substance. I wanted, like, the meat, and I feel like I didn't really get the meat. Like, they're really cool stuff, but I didn't get that, like, progression that I wanted.
I do get that.
So
I understand. But yeah, that was gnarly. Sorry this was long.
Yeah,
there's so much to talk about.
Tried so hard.
And I'm just so pumped. and I drank.
We even
coffee
talked a little
and-
bit before this. We're like, okay, this is what we're talking about. We're gonna
Honed
do
it in.
But let's close out on here. If anybody has questions in the chat, please put those in
Yeah,
now.
we're sticking here for a minute if anybody
Yeah.
wants to ask questions.
But we're gonna close it out for YouTube. So thank you once again for watching the Tokyo Ghoul after show.
Tokyo
Tokyo. I am Daniel Rudd. You can find me at the Dan Rudd.
I am Zach Clapperich. Oh, that's too long. You can find me at ZClap1.
And be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out our links down below. He's doing some cool stuff with the Star Wars series. I do music things, and
Yeah.
you can check those things out there.
Yeah, and feel free on the YouTube. There's been a bunch of people talking on there and asking questions, and
Yeah.
continue to do that. I
Please
love talking to
converse.
y'all.
We want to jump in with you guys
Yeah.
and go in details. And if we forget things or we're stupid, so do that.
It happens.
All right, cool.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.
You're wonderful.